welcome to Grounded Health and Wellness. My name is Kate, and today I wanted to talk to you about my kind of go-to Ayurvedic tips for summer eating. So as we come into summer season, tends to be a lot of kind of social activities centered around this particular time of year because the weather is so beautiful and we can spend more time outside, getting together with friends, family, and the like. And with that comes some kind of, I don't know if we want to call them traditions, but maybe practices that people lean on a little bit more during this time of year. Things like barbecue, greasy foods, heavier foods, salty things like chips, and all of these are wonderful and have a time and a place, but we have to bear in mind that in summer season, which is pitta season, so those elements of fire and water, those particular foods can be a little bit aggravating. So with summer eating in Ayurveda, we've got the plentiful kind of harvest that's happening. There's all kinds of access to fresh fruit and vegetables. Things are coming in and out of season, and then we get excited about enjoying them at particular times because they just taste better when they're in season. So in an earlier video, I spoke about why it's so important to follow a local and seasonal diet. So if you haven't checked out that video, be sure to hang around to the end where it links to that video and you can go check that out. But aside from that, there's a lot of ways that we can implement these kind of little practices around the concepts of Ayurveda, and still enjoy the summer season and without having to miss out on things because we're following a particular lifestyle. So, first thing is, I always like to say the weather is beautiful, so try to eat your meals outside as often as you can. Not only is this helpful for regulating your blood sugar from a biochemical standpoint, but it's just a way to connect with nature by getting outside. If you have children, gather them up. They love a good picnic and kind of picking where you're going to go enjoy that time together to enjoy a meal, packing and picking the homemade items that were prepared with love as you go out and do that versus kind of maybe leaning towards something like a heavier meal or a fast food restaurant. If that's your jam, I'm absolutely not saying not to do that, but just maybe exploring some other options while we have access to all of this beautiful food during the summer and taking advantage of that when it's in season. So the other thing I like to kind of guide people on when I work with them is reframing the mindset around the times of the day and how we eat. So I'm always encouraging us from a circadian biology perspective to eat when the sun is out. So this changes for us a little bit in the summer because we have more sunlight if you're living kind of in the northern hemisphere. I understand that there are some areas in the world that things don't get dark or it stays darker for longer. But in kind of more relative to this North American conversation, if we have daylight that goes maybe even until 10 o'clock at night, should we be eating? Because you're telling me, Kate, well, I can eat when the sun's out, the sun's still out. There has to be kind of a consciousness around our digestion is still kind of this machine that continues to work depending on what we're putting into it. And that does change with the seasons, but we still want to be a little bit mindful as far as that body clock and processes that need to happen overnight when we are sleeping. So where I'm going with that is we would aim to have our bigger meals earlier in the day and aim to have supper as a very light meal. So that helps us sleep better. It doesn't disrupt any of our biological rhythms. We're avoiding kind of eating within that pitta time of the Ayurvedic clock, which is from 10 to 2. So that can be 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. and 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. So specifically, those are the times that the body is really coming into that detoxification. If we are eating during the day between that 10 a.m. and 2 p.m., kind of lunch, being our bigger meal of the day, when the sun is the highest, then our agni, that digestion is working at its hardest at that time. So that is a good idea. That's why as we edge towards dinner, we want to aim for something a little lighter. So, speaking about the harvest and things that are available, so summer is your best time to eat all the things like that are raw, salads, smoothies, any kinds of kind of fruits, things like that that are not available to us in other seasons. This is your time to really enjoy those. Again, you have to do your own kind of research and feel what lands really well in your body. It's funny for me, I don't tolerate cucumbers very well, which I mentioned in another video. And I also find the same thing with watermelon. Even though watermelon is this beautiful fruit that can be available at particular times of the year, I find that it doesn't do well with my digestion. So again, it's a great opportunity for something to enjoy in these warmer months. Doesn't land for me, so I'm not going to do that. So you have to listen to these body cues and see what works for you. So if you are going to a barbecue or picnic with friends, my kind of advice for things like that is bring a salad that you've either curated yourself or maybe you've selected something at the supermarket from a nice organic or locally sourced store. And then you're opting for kind of leaner protein. So if you are at a barbecue and people are meat eaters and they're kind of barbecuing things that are a little bit heavier in nature. If you're at a barbecue for an evening gathering, my suggestion would be to look towards the leaner meats, just so that it's easier for your digestion to manage that. If it's the middle of the day at high noon and you think that that's okay for your digestion and you're going to feel okay, again, sometimes it's a do it subject and you have to try these things to see whether or not they're going to work for you, then go for it. We're just remembering that all of those kind of elements of that oily, fiery, heavy can really affect pitta, and we're already dealing with pitta in the summertime. So just watching how you feel with your body. If you notice that you attend something like that and you're suffering later from maybe indigestion or heartburn, or maybe the next day you feel that you're running a bit of a headache, or you just kind of feel hotter or heavier even, then that could just be an indication that maybe inflammation has risen a little bit in your body and you just don't try that approach the next time. So that's really it as far as an Ayurvedic approach to summer eating. I like to keep things quite simple around the food paradigm because it can be very challenging for everyone. And you want to be, and food or eating rather is a social activity and it should be enjoyed. And we don't want to kind of convolute these experiences with too much dogmatic practice around all of these rules. We want to eliminate the idea of rules and we just want to be able to enjoy differently with more conscious awareness around things that feel good in our body, are respecting kind of circadian rhythms as far as time of day, where we are in the world, what's available, local, seasonal, and putting kind of as many nutrient dense foods into our bodies as we can so that we can feel our best. And if you have any questions or would like more support on anything that was spoken about today, or if you've been following along for a long time and you're curious, maybe you want to work together to dive a little bit deeper into your own wellness, I'll put a link down below in the show notes and you can reach out to me. And you can even book a free 15-minute consultation, just kind of call, a discovery call, just to see how this work could align for you. And that's it for me. So have a great day and we'll see you here next time.